Hi, it's Barry at Rancho La Puerta, and today I'm with one of our presenters, Michelle Hébert. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
Now, Michelle, you've been here several times. You've been coming for years.
Yes.
And you present on many different topics, yoga, meditation. What else do you?
I do. Well, I integrate a lot of breathing in my work. But actually, you know, I was on the staff here 22 years ago.
Right. I read that in like 1987.
87.
Wow.
I came here in 87 and I was here for 3 years. And then I've been coming back a couple of weeks every year since then.
Right, and on the fitness staff, correct?
Yes, I was on the fitness staff.
And you still teach fitness or do fitness?
I do. I still work out with weights. It's a very important part of my training, as well as yoga and meditation.
And you come here as a specialty presenter several times a year?
I do.
And what do you specialize in?
Well, I work with Raja Yoga, and Raja Yoga is actually is inclusive of all the yogas, so it includes the posture work, the asanas, but also meditation, where's the mind, minding the mind, thinking about what we're thinking about, and I do a lot with breath.
Right. And you do retreats, you and your husband, Hébert, correct?
We do retreats all over the world. In fact, we're leaving tomorrow for Costa Rica.
Right. And India last year?
Yes.
Right. And you study India often, right?
Well, we go to India every few years.
Right. And you and your husband bring the ashram to the Rancho La Puerta, right? Once a year.
Yes, once a year. Swami Veda Bharati, or one of his teachers, comes to the ranch, and we have a wonderful week of meditation, philosophy, and the works.
Right. And this week you're here because you were doing a talk for the guests and talking a little bit about some of the topics that are covered in your book that you just wrote, correct?
Yes,
right? And this is your first book?
It's my first book,
right. And it came out when?
It came out in April.
Right. And it's called The 10th Door, right? Adventure Through the Jungles of Enlightenment.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it has won several awards already, correct?
It has.
What awards has it won?
Well, my favorite award is the Nautilus Book Award, and the previous winners were Deepak Chopra, the Dalai Lama, Houston Smith, Marianne Williamson, Andrew Weil. So I feel like the book is in really good company.
It is. Yeah. Those are some small names.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes. It also won, and I'm very pleased about this too, is the San Diego Book Award in spirituality, and it won the National Indie Excellence Award in spirituality. So people have really been acknowledging the book.
So tell us a little bit what the book's about. It's a memoir, is that correct?
Yes. The book is, it's actually about living from the heart and daring to take risks. And it's the story of my spiritual journey with the legendary yoga master Walt Baptiste. And it's from Cleveland to San Francisco to the jungles of El Salvador during the revolution. And much of it was in solitude. But the book itself transcends the world of yoga, and it really brings out practices and spiritual teachings that are relevant to modern living. And although it's my story, it's actually everyone's journey towards tapping into their infinite potential.
Right. Now, I actually have read the book, and I find it's really easy to read, and it's easy for anyone to read, which I like a lot, right? And I think everyone can relate to your journey in their own, like you said, in your own personal life.
Yes.
I went to your talk yesterday evening, and was very impressed by your talk, and enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
One of the things that you said that really sticks with me is how many thoughts a person has a day. What was the number?
Well, it's estimated that we think somewhere between 65 and 90,000 thoughts in a day.
Wow.
And 90% of those thoughts we thought yesterday.
Wow. Which I find that's amazing.
Amazing.
Right? Yeah. To have, so it's a pattern that we get stuck in our minds, and we keep rethinking the same things over and over and over.
Yes,
right?
Evidently that's the case.
Right. And you had some suggestions on how you can reverse that or work on that. And one of those was mantras.
Right. One of the ancient ways of getting hold of the mind is through a repetition of words. So you're focused on a certain word. And a lot of people think of the word mantra as some sort of strange Sanskrit word that you repeat, but a mantra can be any word. And when I was training with my teacher, the words he gave us was peace, harmony, well-being, and to repeat those words rather than all of the other stuff that is coming through our mind. And it keeps us focused. It's great for the cells and for the health of the body because we respond on the level of our nervous system when we repeat words like peace and harmony. There's something that happens on a cellular level, actually.
And there's no room for the other thoughts then.
Hopefully there's no room for the other thoughts. Yeah.
Exactly. So will there be another book, do you think?
Actually, there will be another book, and it's going to be a sort of a sequel to this book, because at the end of this book, I leave the center and I step out into the world, and the world that I stepped out into after 14 years of really being focused on my spiritual growth was Rancho La Puerta. So I came directly from there to Rancho La Puerta, and this was my step out into the world. Now, for a lot of people, Rancho La Puerta is their step away from the world to an oasis, really, of a personal growth and health and vitality. And but for me, I was stepping back from even farther and coming to this world. And so it was a wonderful training place for me in teaching and learning how to teach spiritual principles in a way that is accessible for people. So.
And what advice would you give someone who's trying to calm themselves in this world and find a spiritual practice for themselves?
Well, I would say that the first thing to think about is just doing it for 2 minutes to find and everybody has a different kind of spiritual connection. So, but one suggestion I would have would be diaphragmatic breathing. And that's a very simple practice where you focus on your diaphragm, and you can take one hand on your chest and the other hand on the diaphragm and focus on just breathing in the diaphragm. So the lower hand comes up, but the hand on the chest does not move. And you spend 2 minutes focusing on the diaphragm, slowly breathing in and slowly breathing out. And that has an effect on the vagus nerve, which calms the nervous system, it calms the breathing rate, and sort of smooths out the whole system.
In case any of us ever have stress.
Right. And the other one is peace, harmony, well-being. To start to use that rather than all of the other thoughts and stressors that come into our lives. We replace those thoughts with positively charged words.
And that it works on a cellular level, right?
It works on a very deep level of the nervous system, yes, as well as emotionally and mentally.
So how could our viewers get a hold of your book or keep up with what you're doing?
Well, thank you. My book is available on Amazon. It's available here at Rancho La Puerta, and it's also available on my website.
And your website is?
My website is rajayogis.net.
Wonderful. And again, the book is called The 10th Door, and we're with Michelle Hébert. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Barry.